Hey, this is your boy Kenny Braswell with Five Flow. I'm not going to be with you this week. I got a special guest for you all the way from Chicago. His name is Richard L. Taylor, and he's going to talk to you today about understanding your mental health during the holidays. Check out my boy Richard.
Family, it's your man Richard Taylor. Welcome to a special edition of Five Flow. 5 minutes of motivation and not much more. Thank you to my brother Kenny Braswell for giving me this opportunity to come on. He hit me up and said, Richard, let's give the people 5 things that they need to know as it relates to their mental health in the holidays. So I'm going to jump straight into this. Here we go. First and foremost, do not self-sabotage. This is very important. Critical, I say, when it comes to how we treat ourselves as it relates to thinking our life does not matter. A lot of times we fall victim to this thought process because of materialistic things during the holiday, because we don't have what this person has, or sometimes we are hit with all of the sales and incredible deals and this, that, and the third as it relates to what's available for the holidays. And because we might not be able to afford it, or it might not be the right time for it, we start to allow that to equate to the value of our lives. Today, I want to encourage you and let you all know that your life and the value of it is not, it's not determined by the dollar amount. It's not determined by the amount of money you make. It's not determined by what you do and don't have financially or materialistically during this season. Guys, your life has a purpose that no man can put a number on. No product, no item, no anything. Look, even if it's just you in a box this year for Christmas, at least you got your box. We've got to start changing our perception when it comes to our situations and not falling victim to thinking that we don't matter because we can't physically attain certain things. That's my first point. Secondly, you have to discover or rediscover what makes you happy. Why is this important? Simply because a lot of times we do put value into the wrong things. So one of my biggest factors of encouragement for you during this time is for you to understand that it is on you to reinvest mentally, emotionally, into the things that make you happy, things that don't come from materialism. Look, if it's you going out and looking at homes that have Christmas lights, if it's you taking a drive out to just be out getting fresh air, if it's you hanging out with friends, being around family, Christmas movies, music, whatever it might be, you have to discover and or rediscover the things that make you happy. And I would even go as far to say maybe rediscovering or discovering the things that make you happy when it comes to this season, when it comes to being around family, when it comes to the holidays. Maybe you had something traumatic happen that kind of altered your perception when it comes to the holidays. But let's try and backtrack before that moment, right? Let's go back and rediscover, look, before this hellacious thing took place, what was my life like? What did I look like mentally? How did I feel emotionally, right? Let's get back to a place where we discover and or rediscover. My third point, it is so important for you to identify your emotional triggers during this season. Richard, why are you saying this? Because so many times we start to go south after we do not identify what it is that we are going through at the moment. This is critical simply because a lot of times we try and deal with things, or we know we feel a certain way, but we don't take the time to study and show ourselves to prove when it comes to identifying that very thing. And one thing that you all need to know and understand is that you will never be able to be in a space of changing or eradicating whatever the negativity is mentally or emotionally in your life if you cannot identify it. So my charge for you with this third point, please start to identify your emotional triggers. What makes you tick? What gets on your nerves? What causes you to feel sad? Who are you around family-wise that might get on your nerves? Let's be real about these things and start to identify. And after we identify, we need to invest, which leads me to my fourth point. You have to invest into yourself by being productive to your approach or in your approach to fighting your triggers. It is so important for us to make sure that we are not only mindful in identifying, but actually investing into the right things that will help us combat the triggers, right? What does this mean? It means you don't wait till the moment for something to happen and then try and move forward and deal with it. You actually take the time in preparation preparation well before a moment or an opportunity hits where your trigger the button is pushed and you're literally ready to go off. So guys, my encouragement for you is this: when it comes to your mental, your emotional, after you identify it, it's time to start finding the right alternatives to help combat those negative things and for you to make a positive investment in those areas. My final point is this, and I know many of us struggle with this from time to time, but hear me, during the holiday seasons and every other season in life, you are not alone. Yes, sometimes you might find yourself in spaces of silence or solitude, but I look at those as moments in the process where we need to grow. It doesn't mean that you're alone in your struggle. It doesn't mean that you're alone in your feeling. Understand this. Many people go through what you go through. We might not always vocalize it. We might not always talk about it, but many of us are in the same boat. So instead of you thinking that you're alone, I urge you to do this. Take the chance and the small thought that maybe, just maybe, if you could put yourself on the line to be that transparent individual in that loneliness, even in those feelings of loneliness, to open up. And I guarantee you can create a community of change for other individuals who might not have known that they aren't alone. My encouragement for you is, look, not just to know that you are not alone, but also to remember that you have the power to create change. And a lot of times you do that by taking that pain and turning it into power, rather than allowing that pain to remain pain and continue to torment you. Guys, so look, these are my 5 points for the 5 flow. I hope they help somebody. Happy holidays. I love you. As always, you're not losing in life. You're not failing. You're simply between the dream. What does that mean? Between the dream. It's not just the title of my second book. It's a way of life. The point between your present moment and your promise is your process. Between the dream is the process. When you embrace your process, you embrace your progress. And when you embrace your progress, you can walk into every promise, purpose, and plan meant for your life. I love you all. Happy holidays.
Thank you for listening to 5 Flow this week. I hope you enjoyed Richard L. Taylor. Make sure you check him out on Twitter, Instagram, Periscope. He's all over the place. I'll be back with you next week for the last episode of 5 Flow in 2016. If I don't get a chance to talk to you before the holidays, I'm going to wish you all a Merry, Merry Christmas. May it bring you all the joy you deserve. Peace out.